London doesn't look planned. It feels irregular, almost chaotic. And that's not an accident. This city had multiple chances to start over, after fire, after war, and every time it chose not to. That decision shaped everything you see today. In 1666, most of London burned. A fire started in a small bakery on Pudding Lane. Within days, wooden houses, narrow streets, and entire districts were gone. The medieval city was nearly erased. For the first time in centuries, London had something rare: a blank slate. Architects proposed bold redesigns, wide boulevards, straight avenues, open public squares. London could have transformed into something ordered and symmetrical. It could have looked like Paris, but rebuilding had to happen fast. Merchants needed to trade again. Property owners demanded their land back. The economy could not pause for perfection. So instead of redesigning the city from scratch, London rebuilt quickly, on the same property lines, along the same winding streets. The medieval patterns survived, and that decision, choosing speed over symmetry, still defines London today. But to understand why that moment mattered so much, we need to go back. Nearly 2,000 years ago, London began as a Roman settlement called Londinium. It was built along the River Thames, and the river shaped everything. The Thames meant trade. It meant military access. It meant survival. The Romans built defensive walls around their settlement. Even after the Roman Empire withdrew from Britain, those walls remained. Over time, medieval London grew within and around them. But it didn't grow according to a master plan. It expanded organically. Streets followed older paths. Markets formed where people gathered. Churches rose where communities settled. Buildings leaned into narrow roads. Upper floors sometimes extended outward, nearly touching across the street. This wasn't architectural ambition. It was density. It was practicality. And when the Great Fire came centuries later, that underlying structure was not erased. It was rebuilt. In the 18th century, London expanded beyond its ancient core. For the first time, we begin to see intentional symmetry. Georgian terraces introduced rhythm and proportion. Rows of townhouses created elegant streets, windows aligned, facades repeated in measured patterns. But this order was not citywide. These neighborhoods were developed privately, one estate at a time. There was still no single vision for London as a whole. The city was not redesigned, it was extended. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Railways carved through existing districts. Factories rose along the Thames. Brick dominated the expanding skyline. London grew rapidly. Not carefully, not uniformly, but powerfully. As the capital of a global empire, it expanded in response to industry and wealth. Grand civic buildings were constructed. Financial districts intensified. But instead of replacing the past, new architecture layered over it. Old streets remained. New districts attached themselves to older ones. Nothing was fully erased. Everything accumulated. In the 20th century, another rupture arrived. During World War II, bombing raids damaged large parts of London. Once again, the city faced destruction, and once again, it had an opportunity to redesign itself. Modernist planners imagined something cleaner: concrete housing estates, functional grids, open space replacing dense neighborhoods. Some of these ideas were implemented. Brutalist towers appeared. New housing complexes rose. But even after wartime devastation, London did not wipe the slate clean. Glass skyscrapers were inserted into historic districts. Modern blocks rose beside medieval churches. The skyline became layered, not unified. Layered. Look at London today. The Shard pierces the sky. Canary Wharf forms a modern financial cluster. Steel and glass reflect global capital. Yet St. Paul's Cathedral still anchors the horizon. Centuries-old churches remain embedded in the financial district. Medieval street patterns still shape traffic. This is not a city that chose one identity. It is a city that survived multiple transformations without ever fully erasing itself. London doesn't look chaotic because it failed to plan. It looks layered because it never truly reset. It absorbed fire. It absorbed industry. It absorbed war. And every time it rebuilt, it chose continuity over control. That is why London feels unfinished. And that is precisely why it feels alive.